We're now joined by Michael Davey from Specialist Nutrition. A very detailed presentation, Michael.
Very good, thank you. Hopefully it offered something a little bit to everyone anyway, and sure, if we can help at all, that's the main thing.
The content was very detailed, almost science-like, and it's probably difficult for some people to realise the extent that farmers, the amount of work that farmers have to do to make their business profitable.
Yes, I suppose I see that as one of the main challenges of my job day to day, is to keep abreast of the new developments in terms of the science of farming, and to update my knowledge on that side of it. But I see what the beauty of, and what I get out of it, is taking that information and being able to apply it on farm and to help our clients get the most out of it and get the most out of their farming situation.
I was astounded to see that on average 60% of the silage that's harvested, it only really goes into the cow. Maybe a very efficient farm could be 85%. So farmers have to be very, very conscious of their production work and how to handle it, and especially with using contractors to make sure that they get the maximum out of their cut.
Absolutely, and that'd be one of the things that we work very, very closely with our customers on, is the forage, because as every nutritionist knows, great forage makes a great nutritionist. So it's a kind of it's a win-win situation. But we'd be working year-round with our clients to achieve the best, and that's one of the main pillars that we'd be focusing on and building our nutrition on. And even this time of the year, we'd be thinking about producing next year's forage, and that starts with setting up the fields, the soil fertility, regular reseeding, looking at the pH, and particularly the K in silage fields, because that's it's leaf that we're after, and K plays a key role in that. And sometimes having enough lime out there frees up the P and K as well. But cutting dates and applying the right amount of fertiliser to enable us to cut at the right date, all that. And even with, like as you say, the average. If you looked at 10 loads of grass in the field, how much of that do we actually feed to the cow? On average, you're probably looking at a little over 6, maybe 6.5. The top guys are achieving about 8.5, because you will have some natural fermentation losses in there. But the message I was trying to get across this evening is that if you're in a situation where you are regularly short of forage, that there's 20% to be had there by good practices in the field, good practices filling the clamp, the use of an appropriate crop-specific inoculant, a high dry matter inoculant for high dry matter silages, because it's a very different challenge to wet silages, and down to sealing the clamp very well, and then at feed out, how well we maintain the pit face. And all that means that of that grass that we went to the bother of growing in the field, we get to utilise a lot more of it.
Probably in good years farmers mightn't be as conscious of that, but with the pending difficulties that farmers are going to face next spring, that has increased the significance of the importance of what the advice that you are giving them.
I suppose what I was trying to do this evening was to give some solutions for people that they can put in place tomorrow and next week and next month, but also to look a little bit further ahead in terms of the medium term and the longer term. So there's things that if you're in a forage shortage, that there's feeds that are available to you now, and there's feeds that are not available to you, and to maybe work with someone, with a nutritionist that knows your situation and that you can trust to deal with the kind of the next few months. But the other message I was trying to get across was the medium term, and part of that was addressing soil fertility, growing more of the grass. Then when you have it grown, conserving it, as we said, your conservation practices and feed out practice to get the most out of that. But equally, with Specialist Nutrition, our main business is involved in moist feeds. So distillers' grains like Orna Gold coming up from Cork, brewers' grains, those type of feeds. And the message I was trying to get across to people is that they're pseudo-forages, and that you can use those moist feeds as a forage in a year when you're short on forage. But if it turns out that you have plenty of forage that year, because they can also behave like a concentrate, so we can set up the diet to use them whichever way suits that year. And the message I was trying to get across this evening is that the summer time is the time to seek out those moist feeds, to contact ourselves, maybe even March, April, and if people have space to pit moist feeds, get it in during the summer, and then you'll have it when you need it in the winter. And if it turns, like the other message I wanted to get across was that, you know, by the 1st of August or maybe even July, most people in this country have a good idea of how much forage they'll have available for the next winter. Now, okay, a couple of years ago we looked very tight on the 1st of August, and that particular year we got a lot of silage made in August and in September. But normally you'd have a very good idea on the 1st of August, and that's the message I was trying to get across, was that working with ourselves or someone that they're working with to do a feed budget, and the time to do it is in early August or late July. See where you are, and at least then, if you know the situation, you can take action in time. For example, there's no straw really to be got now in this neck of the woods at the moment, or anywhere really in Ireland. People have what they have, but earlier on this year, anybody could have had any amount of silage or any amount of straw, you know. And so, the message I'd be trying to get to my clients every year is, look, when the winter crops are harvested and the straw is baled, before anyone's even thinking about straw, there's straw available there, and that's the time to seek it out. And if we have our feed budgets done, you know, combining the likes of that straw, speaking to the likes of ourselves as Specialist Nutrition about the moist feeds, you can do an awful lot at that time of the year. And like I say, if it turns out that you put the moist feeds in the yard, you have them, number one. After that, if you get some silage made, we can use them to reduce the concentrate feeding levels through the winter. So they're very, very flexible and very useful. And, you know, the thing about them is they're excellent sources of crude protein, you know, 22, 23, 30% crude protein. A lot of them have 13.5 ME, 14.2 ME. So, you know, great value, great products. But the thing is to get them in time and have the feed budgets done in the summertime.
So you'd feel that Specialist Nutrition is to support the farmer all year round, not just at critical times when the farmer is in crisis?
Absolutely. People often say, is this your busy time of the year? But the funny thing is, working with Specialist Nutrition, as I gave out a lot of brochures this evening, and you can see it's quite a full book of products. The thing about that is we're working with people every day of the year, be it the middle of the winter or the middle of the summer. Like I say, early in the year we're looking towards the next cut of silage, setting that up, and a lot of our clients use the Biotel range of products, crop-specific products. It's not a one-size-fits-all. We're tailoring the inoculant to suit the particular silage situation. Then we're pitting moist feeds a lot during the summer. During the winter then we're fine-tuning the diet. So we've set up the diet, maybe in August with the feed budget. We're fine-tuning it then when cattle are going into sheds, and we're checking, as I was saying to people, keeping a close eye on the dung, because the dung tells us a lot, and trying to, if things are straying a little bit off course, you'll see it in the dung first, and a stitch in time will save 9. Then right through we do a full range of minerals. We work with AB Vista on the likes of VistaCell and Acid Buff, rumen buffers and rumen enhancers. We have a very interesting product came out in the last couple of years, where if silage has got a little bit stemmy and let's say the weather window didn't come at the ideal time to get the silage at the best stage, we have a new product from AB Vista as well called Vista Pre-T, which is an enzyme that makes the fibre in that stemmy silage more digestible to the animal. So we're getting some really interesting results and very good results with those type of products. So that keeps us busy with our clients right 12 months of the year, which makes my job very interesting. There's never a dull moment.
Michael Davey, Specialist Nutrition, thank you very much for talking to Irishwebtv in the Steve Russell Hotel in Cavan.
Very happy to be here. Thank you very much.